Hola! I hope you guys don't mind. I am wearing my pajamas right now. I don't feel like getting ready right now. So I hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to have a conversation with you guys about, kingdom husbands, kingdom wives, and kingdom marriages. So I did hear something last night this morning from the Lord, and He wanted me to tell you guys that have been going through confusion and doubt that your kingdom husband is loyal to you and your kingdom wife is loyal to you. And listen, this is not for everybody. I always tell you guys, take the message to God, pray about it, and find out if it's for you. But that's what I heard this morning. They are loyal to you. And part of the reason is because I feel like many of you guys have been experiencing like warfares and stuff. And I'm going to tell you guys something. Like, I know it's noisy right now. I'm sorry. Sometimes the devil can cause interference. Sometimes the devil can masquerade voices. Sometimes the devil can masquerade people in dreams. And sometimes you can be shown dreams that cause confusion and start to make you question your relationship and stuff. And this is just to break that confusion, and this is just to let you know that God said that your partner is definitely loyal. So the dreams that you're having that's making you feel like they're not loyal, making you feel like, this is all fake, it's not real, like, don't even listen to that, okay? Definitely they're loyal. So let me tell you something about kingdom husbands and kingdom wives, okay? And that God really wanted me to talk to you guys about this. So you have to remember that this type of relationship is a very sacred relationship between you, your partner, and between God. Do you see what I'm saying? And oftentimes people think because they have the gift to hear and they have the gift to hear someone, they think automatically that's their husband or automatically that's their wife, and that's not true. Or because they're dreaming about someone consistently, that's automatically their husband, automatically their wife, and that's not true. When you meet your God-ordained partner, okay, God will confirm it to you. There will be no confusion about it. It's not just going to be a dream. It's not just going to be a vision. It's not just going to be you hearing them, because I can hear my enemies too. Does that mean that they're my husband, my wives? You know what I mean? I can hear my enemies too. I dream about my enemies too. Do you see what I'm saying? God will give you very detailed, very specific instructions that only you, God, and your husband can understand. Do you see what I'm saying? And most of the times it's God even showing you your wedding. It's God showing you your future with this person, like you guys living together, and it's going to be reoccurring dreams. Remember when remember in Exodus when God kept giving I think it was Moses reoccurring dreams. You get what I'm saying? And then it actually happened. God will give you reoccurring dreams to prove to you that this is definitely your partner, okay? Another thing that God was basically stressing to me is that a lot of you guys, you have to remember that before you even are brought together with your kingdom husband, your God-ordained partner, you first have to be a Proverbs 31 wife to God, the bride of Christ. You have to be Proverbs 31 wife to God, okay? Which is why some of you guys, you'll meet your God-ordained partner, and then you guys are not ready to be together because you're not prepared to be with them. There's a lot of work that you have to do to be a Proverbs 31 wife. There's a lot of work you have to do. And a Proverbs 31 wife, she has respect, dignity, she has a clean heart, she puts God first. There's no bitterness within her heart, there's no bitterness within her soul. Do you see what I'm saying? And I understand that we're humans and we're not all perfect, but there's a lot of things that God requires us to change in our lives before we can be responsible for the love and the heart of someone else. And that is also for husbands as well. That's why Proverbs 31, it talks about the husband, staying away from people who are gonna ruin kings in the beginning. Let me read that scripture to you so you guys understand where I'm coming from, okay? So, excuse me. One second, y'all. So in Proverbs 31, it talks about what a wife is required to do, but it also talks about what a husband is also required to do. Okay, so that's why I said it's not just for wives, but it's for husbands as well. So you could be a Proverbs 31 wife all day, and you can be, you could have already worked on yourself and gotten things together. But if your husband hasn't, and God knows who your husband is, and God has shown you who your husband is, and they haven't gotten things together, that's still something that has to happen, because they still have to have dignity, they still have to they still have to be able to not put their strength on women that ruin kings, which is temptation, the Jezebels, and all of that stuff. Which has some of you guys, your husbands have been ruined by these types of Jezebel spirits and these types of Jezebel women, right? So there's a lot of things that they need to learn trust. They have to learn to have faith again in God. And on top of that, sometimes when you're heartbroken and you've been through stuff, it's kind of like once you've been with a multiple amount of Jezebels and stuff, it's like that's a spirit that you also have to break off you. That's a spirit that you have to be delivered from, okay? So that's why some of you guys, it's going to take time for your husband to be 100% ready for you, okay? But like I said, you have to be obedient. You have to be the wife of Christ first, okay? Because when you are the wife of Christ first, God can prepare you. So it's like, how to explain it? The way how God showed it to me was, when you get married and your father gives you away to your husband, do you see what I'm saying? Like the husband has to ask your father for your hand in marriage. That's the same thing when you are a bride of Christ. It's like you belong to God. Your body is now a temple, okay? Your body is now a temple, and it's a sacred temple. So what happens now is that when it's time for you and your God-ordained partner to be together, that's God giving you away to your husband. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you became the bride of Christ first. Now God can actually give you away to your husband, okay? And being a Proverbs 31 wife requires a lot, okay? Now, when he was telling me about the faithfulness and the loyalty, it takes time for some kingdom marriages to get to this level. It takes time because I'm telling you, once you give your heart to Christ and you just dedicate yourself to Christ wholeheartedly, it's like God will tell you everything that your God-ordained husband is doing, whether it's good and whether it's bad. Do you see what I'm saying? And the thing about it is that God can work through you to get to your kingdom husband, or God can work through your kingdom husband to get to you. Okay, so if you're on the wrong path and God said that's your husband, but you're on the wrong path, your king ordained husband God can get through to you through your king or to your God ordained husband, basically. Okay, so it's kind of like once you start to notice that your kingdom husband is making changes in his life and he's doing good, it's kind of like you'll get that revelation from God that you have to be on that same level in order to be with him. Because imagine being a cheating wife or a deceitful wife, and you're not a Proverbs 31 wife, and you see your kingdom husband is that type of man. You know what I mean? That's automatically letting you know that in order to be with that type of man, it's going to require you to change this behavior. It's going to require you to let this go, to let these patterns go, let these specific behaviors go. And the same thing with kingdom husbands. It's like if your kingdom wife is practicing celibacy, abstinence, and she's a bride of Christ and she's good-hearted and she's faithful, it's going to require your kingdom husband to let go of Jezebels. It's going to require your kingdom husband to be faithful. It's going to require your kingdom husband to be empathic towards you. Do you see what I'm saying? Compassionate, because a Proverbs 31 wives is compassionate. Proverbs 31 man is compassionate as well. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like when God shows, when you're the bride of Christ, God can advocate on your behalf. And a lot of people don't know this, and they're so focused on the relationship, it's like they fail to include God. But what happens is God can't bring that relationship together until God is first. Because God has to be the one to advocate on your behalf. God has to be the one to give your partner the revelation, like, yes, you have to change to be with this person, because God is the only one that can show this person the future you're going to have together, the children you're going to have together, the type of life you're going to have together. Do you see what I'm saying? God can show your partner all this. God can say, hey, I can give you this type of life, or you can choose that type of life. And that happens a lot. And another reason why it's so important for God to be the center is because God is going to defend you. If your husband is you guys are together, or your husband is still fighting specific spirits, it's kind of like God can say, listen, if you get with her, or with your wife, and you do this, here's the outcome of what's going to happen if this happens. Do you see what I'm saying? Like God can literally show them visions and dreams as to what can happen if they go back to that lifestyle. And that's something that, listen, that's something that you need in your life, because you want your husband to be God-fearing. You want your husband to not want to disappoint not just you, but doesn't want to disappoint God. Because if you are God's temple and you are the bride of Christ, and your husband disappoints you, your husband is disappointing God. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is why it's important to have God in the center of your relationship, okay? And when you are a God ordained Proverbs 31 woman, wife, you have God in the center of your relationship, God is going to have your back and make sure that you are not going to be hurt. A lot of times what happens is people, they get married to people who God did not approve of, and there's a lot of problems in their relationship. There's divorces, you get what I'm saying? And it's not to say that kingdom marriages don't experience that, but when you're marrying based on your own fleshly desires, and you're not marrying someone based on who God tells you to marry, and this is the one for you, and I have married both of you guys in spirit first, it can be dangerous marrying someone through flesh when God already has someone that he has married you to in spirit first, because everything is spiritual before it becomes physical. Do you see what I'm saying? So if God does not approve that person and you marry that person, you have to understand there's going to be a lot of problems that that sometimes can't even be resolved. Do you see what I'm saying? But when God is the center of your relationship, these issues can definitely be resolved. Do you see what I'm saying? So another thing too is, I understand that for some people, as children of God, we're able to see each other. We're able to see. I've had people contact me and say, hey, Steph, I dreamt about you and your kingdom husband, or I saw a vision of you and your kingdom husband. And that's beautiful. You know what I mean? But then there's people out there who have these gifts as well, who are not for your relationship, who don't want you two to be together. And it's some people, it's like they claim to be Christians, or they claim to love God, but they have this feeling of, okay, if I see a vision of this person's kingdom husband, I want a kingdom husband. I don't know who my kingdom husband is, but I want that kingdom husband. I want the kingdom husband for that child of God. You see what I'm saying? You can't be a child of God, and you can't call yourself a Proverbs woman if you're seeing visions of someone else's kingdom husband or kingdom wife, and you want to be with that person's kingdom husband or kingdom wife, and you want to try to figure out how to take them from someone else. That's not a Proverbs 31 wife, okay? I'm letting you know right now, there's a difference between a Proverbs 31 wife and Jezebel, and that's Jezebel thoughts. So you have to snap out of that, okay? You have to remember that when you see someone else's kingdom husband or kingdom wife, you have to understand that it doesn't mean that you're not going to have that. You have to understand that God will bring your partner to you. Do you see what I'm saying? Everyone has a different level of anointing in their relationship. So if you're not respecting that person's relationship, you're going to be causing delays in your own relationship, if that's what you have to do, or if that's the type of thoughts that you have towards another child of God. Do you see what I'm saying? And you have a lot of work to do. Okay, so because it says here is that Proverbs 31 wife is very generous. Okay, very generous, very respectful, and she has a lot of dignity. All right, she has a lot of dignity. Basically, she clothed herself in strength and in dignity. And what is dignity? Dignity is respect. So when you guys have visions of someone else's kingdom marriage and you see someone with their kingdom husband, respect their relationship. Don't think to yourself, oh, I want that person because I like the way he treats her, or I want to steal that person. You can't steal anyone's kingdom husband anyways, or kingdom wife anyways. But it's just some people have these thoughts, and it's kind of like, if you have these types of thoughts, you lack dignity, which is far away from a Proverbs wife, and that's something that you have to work on. Okay, also, you don't want to cause your own blockage. Okay, anyways, I love you guys. I just wanted to share this with you, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.